Hey guys, it's Roxie with Roxie's Broadway Breakdown. Welcome back to my channel. And today I want to talk about directors. There's all kinds you have to work with. And to be in theater, you have to be a real people person and know how to work with different kind of people. Because you have to work with choreographers, musical directors, cast members. And you all have to work together at the end of the day to come together for a show. But as a director, they're the head of the show, and whatever personality they have, they set the tone and it filters down. So there's different kinds. You might get one that's insecure and not have much experience. And if you have a lot of experience, that's frustrating because you know how this should go. And if they're just sort of dragging their heels or loosey-goosey and they're kind of like, well, I don't know. I mean, you know, giving you sort of obtruse blocking or not doing much staging, wasting your time, then you might have to pull them along in this process. You might have to do some of the blocking, ask them, rope them into it, and then they go, oh yeah, I like that. That's just going to go, how that show is going to go down. You might have a lazy director who's just like, yeah, you kind of do you know, and you're also going to have to rope them into it, you know, and maybe ask the stage manager for some help. Like, can we set a schedule and stick to it? You might have the artsy kind of director who's very loosey-goosey, like, oh, you just show me what you have. You do you feel the character. And that's hard because you want somebody to guide you with characterization, to help you with the blocking, to, you know, do something definite. But there's some that just have that sort of, you know, bohemian, yeah, whatever. But again, you're going to have more of a push and pull relationship with them of, you know, help me help you. You might have a micromanagement kind of director that like wants to have their hand in everything. And in that sense, you might ask them, hey, do you mind if I try? Nope. I want it done my way. Okay, at least you asked. You might have a macro management director who is so busy looking at the final product, like, you know, they just see big picture, and yeah, they've blocked things, they've staged things, but along the way that all gets lost, and you have to kind of go back and remind them, like, hey, do you mind looking at this fast change or the way we stage this? And they go, oh yeah, all right, yeah, let's clean that up. You kind of have to refocus them. You might have a very demanding director who's not all, you know, peaches and ice cream. They don't give you the warm fuzzies. They're just like, they're very blunt, they're very demanding, and they're like, hey, you know, I need more from you on this, or you need to do more in this scene, or I need more from you, da-da-da, and they're just like, they even tend to bark orders, and you have to get kind of a thick skin with them. I don't mind those directors. I learn a lot from those directors, but just don't expect to get a lot of praise from them. That's just how they are and who they are. And but that is different from a very toxic, abusive director who screams and yells and, you know, maybe throws things. I've had directors that, like, you know, will hurl a script or a pencil or, you know, to get your attention. And it's like, you don't know what you're going to get day to day. It's almost, you know, like dealing with some kind of maniac. And that's very stressful to work under those conditions. And I would never tell anyone what to do with that kind of, you know, environment, because that is a personal choice, whether you can put up with it, whether you have to put up with it. I mean, all I can say is if it's a school kind of situation, you can report them to school. If it's a regional theater, you can report them to the theater. If it's equity, you can report them to equity. I mean, it just depends on what you can put up with. But just note, that is a very different situation. Somebody who's extremely abusive like that, and I don't even know if that would really fly today in today's environment, but yeah, it still goes on. As opposed to somebody who's just very demanding and knows what they want, and they're just not, you know, the kind of, oh, let's work together or warm and fuzzy. They're just really strong and they know what they want, and they're just not being even nice. They're just like, hey, you know, give me that or do that again. That's just being maybe a tough director, but that's not abusive. So you have to kind of, I mean, I think you'll know the difference if you're working with them. Also, if you when you get into Tech Week, you know, if there's times where you have something specific to you that's not working, like a mic or a prop or a costume, go to the head of that department. Don't bother the director with that. There are times to ask the director for something, you know, either before rehearsal, during a break, after rehearsal. Those are the times to approach them, not during a huge set change where it's not about you. You know, that's when they have 50 million things on your mind. That's not the time to go, hey, these gloves don't match my costume. Then you are going to get yelled at, and you deserve to get yelled at. All right, I hope that was helpful. Subscribe to my channel, check out all my other videos, and I'll see you in the next.